graders, today we're going to learn lesson 12 on lines, number lines, and tally marks. So to start, geometry is the study of shapes. Horizontal lines go left and right. Like if you think of the horizon, this is my little sun, and here's the ocean. This line that we see, that we call the horizon, goes left and right. Lines that go up and down are called vertical lines. And that's easy to remember because you figure you're jumping up vertical like in basketball. A line that is not horizontal or vertical and is instead slanted, we call an oblique line. So a line like this that's on a slant is considered oblique. Now we have some more vocab words. You're going to write the word in down here on the space. Any particular dot on a number, on a page, anything is considered a point. Okay? This is called a ray. And a ray has one starting point and then it continues with a line forever and ever and ever in this direction. That's what this part means. So when you have one point and the other side has an arrow, it's called a ray. If there's two arrows, then that is called a line. And lines go on forever in either direction. There's no stopping spot. What happens if we have a part of a line, but on the ends we have two different points? Well, that's called a line segment, because it's just a small part of the line. It's a segment of it. It's not the whole thing. Let's relate that to our number line, okay? So here is a typical number line that you have, and notice on the ends we have those arrows. Those arrows tell us that this is going to go on forever and ever and ever. Even though we didn't write it out to infinity, more numbers would keep going. After -4, it'd be -5, -6. After 4, it would be +5, +6, going on forever. Each of these little dashes we call a tick mark. And a tick mark shows a specific place on the number line. Notice that they're equally spaced apart. And we call each of these spacings unit segment. Okay? Now our number line is really, really important. Our number line can show us how far things are from each other or how things they are from 0. On this number line, we have all these numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and those are all considered positive numbers. And then on this side, smaller than 0, these are all less than 0. We have -1, -2, -3, -4, and those are all called negative numbers. It's very important to know that negative numbers are smaller than positive numbers. Okay. So what we call all of these numbers that we see, the counting numbers, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, 0, and all the counting numbers opposites or their negative counterparts, all these numbers are called integers. Go ahead and write down some examples of integers. Here's some that I came up with. 125, -87, 0, 1,203. Let's make it a -1,203. All of those numbers are integers. Now that you know your number line, let's complete a sequence like we did earlier in the year, but it's going to be a little trickier because we're going to use the negative numbers too. So look at our sequence from 2 to 1 to 0. So what is happening here? Good, we're going down by 1. So from 0, now I'm going to go to -1, -2, -3. Do you remember what comes next on the number line? -4, -5, -6, and I could go on forever. Here's the second type of problem they may ask you to do. Draw a number line with numbers from -2 to 3. So first thing I'm going to do when I'm going to draw a number line is I'm going to draw a line segment. Then I'm going to make it into a line by putting 2 arrows on it. Now it's telling me to draw numbers from -2 is my first number. So I'm going to do a little tick mark and I'm going to write -2. And now I'm going to count how many tick marks I need, and I can make them out, or I can make them as I go. It doesn't really matter. I just want to make sure they fit. And you want them to be equal distances apart. So I'm going to need a tick mark for -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to need 6 tick marks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I want to label them. -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. There we go. I did my number line. All right, number 3. On the number line below, arrows A and B indicate integers. Write the two integers with a comparison symbol showing which is greater. And this is the last type of question you might get from this lesson. So here I see I have 0. Down here is -4. Up here is 4. First, let's look at A. I know that here's -4. So if I was counting this way, my numbers will get bigger. -4, what's bigger than -4? Good, -3. I also could have counted backwards from 0. 0, -1, -2, -3, -4. And I always want to check that it works with the other number I'm given to make sure that each tick mark is only going down by 1. So I know that A is -3. What about B? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one is +2. Now they want me to draw them with a comparison symbol. So I have -3 and I have 2. Which one is bigger? Good, the 2 is bigger. Even though 3 is bigger than 2, -3 is smaller than 2. So I'm going to draw my little open side facing the one that's bigger, and the little point, the smaller side, will face that which is smaller. And so that is how I would write it. And I would read this as negative, this little minus sign means negative, -3 is less than 2. There you go. That is the entire lesson. So go ahead, 5th graders, and get to work.